Julian? I whispered into the dark bedroom. No answer. Just the soft rhythmic sound of his breathing. I sat up, reached for my water glass, but knocked something off his nightstand. It hit the floor with a heavy thud. I froze. Julian didn't stir. I slipped out of bed and felt around the thick carpet. My fingers brushed against cold metal. A phone, not his usual silver one. A sleek black device I had never seen before. What is this? I muttered to myself. I pressed the side button, the screen lit up. No passcode. That was his first mistake. A message popped up immediately. Chloe, is she asleep yet? I miss you. My blood turned to ice. Chloe, his glamorous, perfect assistant. I opened the chat history. My hands shook so hard I could barely hold the phone. Julian, yes, finally. She's so clueless, it's almost boring. Chloe, you're too bad. Did you handle the transfer? Julian, done. The brat's college fund is empty. 300 grand straight into my offshore account. The new yacht is ours. Chloe, won't she notice? Julian, her? Please. She trusts me blindly. She's weak. I stared at the glowing words. Sam's money, I choked out. You stole Sam's money. Tears spilled down my cheeks. I sank onto the cold hardwood floor, pulling my knees to my chest. I cried until my throat burned and my eyes swelled shut. Hours passed. The sun began to rise, casting a pale gray light through the window. The tears stopped. A cold, heavy feeling settled in my chest. I dialed my brother's number on my own phone. Hello? Sam answered, his voice thick with sleep. It's 6 in the morning. Are you okay? I'm fine, Sam, I lied, keeping my voice steady. I just really needed to hear your voice right now. At this hour? He chuckled softly. You are so weird sometimes. Is Julian awake? Tell him I said thanks again for looking out for me. I am studying hard. I really can't wait for college to start next month. I truly owe you both everything for helping me. My tired heart shattered all over again. You do not owe him anything, I said very sharply. What do you mean by that? He asked, sounding confused. Absolutely nothing, I replied quickly. I just mean you earned your spot. I love you, Sam. Love you too, he mumbled, hanging up. I looked over at the bed. Julian was still sleeping perfectly, a soft smile on his handsome face. He thought he had won. He thought I was just a naive girl who would quietly accept whatever scraps he gave me. You think I am weak, I whispered to the empty room. I slowly stood up, wiping the last dry tear from my face. I placed the secret phone exactly where I found it on the thick carpet. I won't just leave you, I promised him silently as I watched him breathe. I am going to destroy you. Here is your coffee, I said, handing Julian his favorite mug. My hands did not shake. Thanks, babe, he murmured, barely looking up from his phone. I have back-to-back meetings today. The investors are relentless. Do not work too hard, I forced a sweet smile. I will bring you lunch. He kissed my cheek. You are the best. At noon, I walked into the sleek, glass-walled lobby of Julian's tech firm. I held a takeout bag tightly. The receptionist waved me through. Julian was already locked in the glass boardroom, waving dismissively when he saw me. I headed for his private kitchen to leave the food. That is when I heard the loud whirring noise. I peeked around the corner. Sarah, his junior secretary, was shoving thick stacks of paper into the industrial shredder. She looked terrible. Dark circles framed her eyes, and her hands trembled wildly. She dropped a folder, papers spilling everywhere. Let me help you. I stepped forward. Sarah gasped, jumping back. No, I have got it, thank you. I knelt down and grabbed a page. It was full of red numbers. Overdue notices. Default warnings, Sarah. I stood up, holding the paper. What is this? Nothing, she stammered, snatching it from me. Just old drafts. Julian asked me to clear out the cabinets. Follow me, I commanded, grabbing her arm and pulling her into the empty break room. I locked the door behind us. Please, she whimpered. I need this job. I am not going to fire you, I said, keeping my voice low. I just want the truth. What is happening in this company, Sarah? She shook her head, tears spilling over. You do not understand. He will ruin me. He is already ruining me, I replied coldly. I know he is lying. Tell me what those papers are. Sarah swallowed hard. The company is bleeding money. We are completely broke. Broke? He just bought a yacht. It is all a front, she cried softly. He is moving money around to cover massive debts. The investors are getting suspicious. If I do not shred these audits, the feds will come knocking. How long? I asked. Months, she whispered, looking at the floor. Please, just run. Get out before the whole thing collapses and you get caught in the middle. He is dangerous. She unlocked the door and bolted out. I stood alone in the quiet break room. My heart hammered against my ribs, so the wealthy empire was completely fake. It was nothing but smoke and mirrors built on terrible lies and stolen funds. Julian thought he was untouchable. Now I had to find the right sledgehammer to bring it all down. You should not have contacted me, Liam muttered, staring into his black coffee. I did not have a choice, I replied, sliding into the cracked vinyl booth of the empty diner. Julian fired you 3 months ago. You know his accounts better than anyone. Liam finally looked up. His eyes were tired and dark. I know enough to stay far away. You should do the same. I live with him, Liam. I cannot just walk away. Then run, he said flatly. Julian is not just a liar. He destroys people. He ruined my career just because I asked too many questions about his offshore transfers. If he catches you digging around, he will completely ruin your entire life. He already did. I leaned forward, lowering my voice. He stole from my family. Liam frowned, shaking his head. Julian targets big investors, not his own girlfriend. He drained the college trust fund of my younger brother, I choked out, fighting the lump in my throat. $300,000. His entire future is gone just so Julian could buy a new yacht with his mistress. Liam stared at me. The defensive wall in his eyes slowly cracked. He let out a heavy sigh and ran a hand through his messy hair. Are you absolutely sure? Liam asked softly. I read the messages on his secret phone, I whispered. I need hard proof. I need to expose him and I need you to show me exactly how. Liam tapped his fingers against his coffee mug. The digital files are a complete maze. He uses ghost accounts. Even if I hack his private servers, it will only look like bad accounting, not actual fraud. Then what do we need? I demanded. The master ledger, Liam said, leaning in closer. It is a physical hard drive. It contains the real, unedited numbers. The stolen funds, the fake loans, everything. If we get that, he goes directly to prison. Where is it? I asked. I have no idea, Liam admitted. He never keeps it at the office. It is his ultimate insurance policy. He hides it very well. It has to be at the penthouse, I said, my heart racing. If you can decrypt the drive, I will find it and bring it straight to you. Liam looked at me, studying my face for a long moment. If you get caught looking for it, I cannot protect you. I am not asking for your protection, I said firmly. I am asking for your help to burn his fake empire to the ground. Okay, Liam nodded slowly. I am in. Find the drive. I will, I promised. I stood up and walked out of the dirty diner. The cold evening wind hit my face, but I did not shiver. The helpless, crying girl from yesterday was dead and gone forever. As I walked to my car, a sharp, cold focus settled deep into my bones. I was no longer a victim. Now I was a hunter. You look stunning tonight, Chloe purred, her smile looking tight and fake. Thank you, I replied. I stared at her silk designer dress. It was paid for with Sam's stolen college fund. That dress is gorgeous. Is it new? Oh, it is a gift from a very generous friend, she winked. I forced a laugh. Babe, can you get Tom another scotch? Julian called, wrapping an arm around her waist. Of course, honey, I beamed sweetly at him. I walked to the bar and poured a heavy double. Tom was leaning against the balcony glass, loud and already swaying slightly. Here you go, Tom. I handed him the heavy glass. Ah, you are the perfect hostess. He boomed, taking a massive gulp. Julian is a lucky man to have you. I am the lucky one, I said softly, playing the naive partner. He is brilliant. I just do not understand how he manages such a massive company, Tom snorted, leaning in close. The strong smell of expensive liquor rolled off him. Genius? No, he is just deeply paranoid, keeps everything locked down tight. He really does not trust anyone. Really? I widened my eyes, looking perfectly innocent. Not even his own dedicated accountants? Especially not those guys. Tom laughed loudly, shaking his head. But how does he keep track of it all? I asked softly, stepping a little closer to him. It must be so incredibly overwhelming for him. Tom carelessly waved his glass, spilling a few wet drops onto the white rug. He is very old school. Digital files can always be hacked. He keeps the true numbers locked away. Locked away where? I whispered quietly, letting out a small, amazed gasp. He must have a secret vault downtown at the main office. Tom laughed even harder at my comment. The office? No way. He does not trust that open building. He keeps the actual master files hidden inside the black wall safe right here in the penthouse. It is completely hidden behind the large painting in his private study. He froze instantly, blinking his eyes rapidly, suddenly realizing exactly what he just said out loud. I just mean he keeps his important legal contracts in there, he stammered quickly, his face turning pale. Wow, I smiled brightly at him. He really is so incredibly smart. Yeah, just do not ever tell him I mentioned it. Tom muttered quietly, suddenly looking nervous and completely sober. Your little secret is safe with me, I promised him smoothly. I immediately walked away, my chest tight, the private study. The hidden black safe. I finally knew exactly where the poison was kept. Now I just had to steal it without getting caught. The ledger is useless without a powerful weapon. Liam's voice crackled through my burner phone. We need someone with enough money and vicious lawyers to actually use it against him. Otherwise, Julian just buries us both. I know exactly who to call, I replied, ending the call immediately. An hour later, I sat in a freezing, glass-walled office high above the city center. Elena, Julian's absolute biggest corporate rival, stared at me across her massive mahogany desk. She let out a sharp, mocking laugh that echoed loudly. Julian's little girlfriend, Elena smirked, leaning back slowly in her black leather chair. Did you get lost on the way to the mall today? What could a naive little girl possibly want with me? I am not here to shop, Elena, I said. My voice did not shake at all. I am here to hand you Julian's head on a silver platter. Elena stopped laughing instantly. Her sharp eyes narrowed. Excuse me? His entire tech empire is a massive, bleeding Ponzi scheme, I stated flatly, holding her gaze. He's moving fake money around to cover massive hidden debts. He is stealing from his own investors just to stay afloat. Those are very heavy accusations, Elena said softly, folding her hands together. If you are simply wasting my time with petty revenge because he cheated on you, I will have my security guards throw you out. He did cheat, I admitted coldly, not breaking eye contact. But he also stole my little brother's college fund to buy his mistress a new yacht. I do not want petty revenge. I want to utterly destroy him. Elena tilted her head, studying my face closely. And how do you plan to do that? I am going to bring you his master ledger. I leaned forward. The hidden physical hard drive with the real, unedited financial records. Every stolen cent, every fake loan, all in one place. And in exchange? Elena asked, her tone suddenly shifting from mocking to purely calculating. You take his entire company, I said without hesitation. You use the ledger to crush him legally. And you use your army of lawyers to make sure he cannot ever touch me or my brother when the dust finally settles. A slow, dangerous smile crept across Elena's face. I must admit, you are much darker than you look, she said smoothly. I like it. Julian has been a thorn in my side for 5 long years. If you can actually deliver this drive, I will personally guarantee your safety and complete immunity. I will get it, I promised her. You have until the end of this week, Elena warned, her eyes turning ice cold. If you do not have it by Friday night, this meeting never happened and you are entirely on your own. Friday night, agreed, standing up. The clock was officially ticking. I walked out and stepped into the silent elevator. You've been leaving the apartment a lot lately, Julian said, slowly adjusting his expensive silk tie in the mirror. Just running errands, I replied lightly, pouring his hot coffee. Wedding planning takes a lot of time and effort. Julian turned around, his dark eyes narrowing slightly. I know, that is exactly why I asked Marcus to drive you everywhere from now on. My stomach dropped violently. Marcus? I asked, keeping my voice sweet and perfectly steady. You're a security fixer? I really do not need a massive bodyguard following me. The city is dangerous, he said coldly, kissing my forehead. And you are my most valuable asset. Marcus will keep you completely safe. I sat frozen in the back of the black SUV. Marcus stared at me through the rearview mirror. His cold eyes were entirely dead. Where to today? Marcus asked. His rough voice sounded just like grinding stones. La Belle Boutique? I smiled softly at his reflection. I have a bridal fitting today. It might take several hours. I will wait right outside the front door, he replied flatly. Inside the bright boutique, the cheerful saleswoman zipped me into a massive white gown. Should I bring the gentleman outside and to see? No, I panicked, then quickly softened my tone. No, thank you. Julian wants the dress to be a total surprise. I just need a minute alone. Take your time, she smiled, stepping out of the fitting room. I pulled out the cheap burner phone. I typed my message fast. Liam, the charity gala is tomorrow night. Julian is paranoid. Marcus is watching me. The dark screen lit up seconds later. Liam, can you still get to the private study upstairs? Me, yes, during his opening speech. Everyone will be inside the ballroom. Liam, do you have the safe code? Me, Tom gave me the clue. His first million, I will crack it. Liam, if Marcus catches you, he will not just call Julian. He will handle you himself. Be careful. Me, I have to do this. Be ready with the car at the side gate. Liam, I will be there. Do not fail. I hid the phone and stared at my pale reflection. I was wearing a dress bought with dirty money. Everything is fine, I whispered to myself, trying to calm my racing heart. If Marcus caught me, Julian would not break up with me. He would make me disappear. One wrong move and I was dead. These are for you, Julian smiled warmly, handing me a massive bouquet of red roses. I forced myself to take them. The sweet smell made me physically sick. Thank you, I murmured softly. He leaned in, kissing my cheek. You're my absolute rock, you know that? With all the stress at the office, coming home to you is the only thing keeping me sane. I am always here for you, I lied, setting the flowers on the counter. Actually, since you are here, he said casually, pulling a thick stack of papers from his briefcase. I need your quick signature on these. What are they? I asked, pouring myself a cup of hot black coffee. Just some routine tax stuff. He waved his hand dismissively. My accountant really needs them filed by tomorrow morning. Just sign the back page. I stared down at the crisp white pages. Because of Liam, I knew what they were. They were not routine tax forms. They were liability transfers. Julian was secretly moving his massive toxic financial debts directly into my name. If the company collapsed tomorrow, I would go to federal prison and he would walk away completely clean. The old me would have blindly grabbed the pen and smiled happily. Just here at the bottom, he pointed, tapping a silver pen against the cold granite counter, right next to the little red tab. I picked up my coffee mug. My hand did not tremble at all. Are you absolutely sure this is just tax stuff? I asked quietly, looking directly into his dark eyes. Of course, he sighed heavily, sounding slightly annoyed now. Why would I ever lie to you? Just sign it, please. I have a long conference call in 5 minutes, I tilted my wrist. The scalding black coffee poured directly over the center of the documents. The dark liquid quickly soaked through every single page, completely ruining them forever. What the hell are you doing? Julian shouted loudly, jumping back as the hot coffee splashed onto his expensive leather shoes. Are you completely out of your mind? These are official legal documents. My hand slipped, I said flatly. My voice was completely dead. Julian slammed his fists hard onto the counter. You clumsy idiot. Do you have any idea how long it will actually take my lawyers to reprint these? Normally, I would be crying. I would be apologizing profusely, shrinking away from his sudden loud anger. Not today. I did not flinch. I did not step back. I stood perfectly still and stared right back at him with cold, empty eyes. He blinked, staring at me as if looking at a complete stranger. The power in the room shifted instantly. For the first time, he looked genuinely confused and just slightly afraid. He finally realized I was not the weak, blind girl he controlled. Honesty and innovation, Julian's voice boomed through the ballroom's massive speakers. That is what built this company. The crowd clapped loudly. I did not clap. I slipped out the side door and ran up the curved staircase. My heart hammered against my ribs. I pushed open the heavy oak doors to his private study. It was completely dark. I rushed straight to the large abstract painting on the back wall and swung it open. The black metal safe stared back at me. His first million, I whispered, remembering Tom's drunken hint. My hand shook violently as I typed the date of his first major tech launch. Click. The heavy door popped open. There it was. The black hard drive. The master ledger. I grabbed the cold metal drive and shoved it deep into my small silver clutch purse. I let out a massive breath of relief. Creak, the study door swung open. The hallway lights spilled across the dark carpet. What exactly are you doing in here? A sharp voice demanded. I froze, turning around slowly. Chloe stood in the doorway, wearing a stunning red gown. Her eyes darted from my face to the open wall safe behind me. You are stealing from him, Chloe gasped, stepping inside and shutting the door. I knew you were up to something. She laughed, crossing her arms. You are just a pathetic little girl. I'm going to scream for Julian right now. He is going to destroy you. Go ahead, I smiled, taking a step toward her. Scream for him, but know this. When he goes down tonight, you are going down with him. Chloe stopped smiling. What are you talking about? I read the texts on his secret phone, I stated flatly. I know about the offshore accounts. I know about my brother's stolen trust fund. And I know about the yacht he bought for you with dirty money. Her face turned completely pale. You are lying. This drive has every single real financial record. I tapped my purse. When I hand this to the police in 20 minutes, they will arrest Julian for massive fraud. And since your name is tied to that yacht, you will absolutely be sharing a prison cell with him. He promised me I was safe, she whispered, her voice shaking now. He lied to you too, I replied sharply, stepping closer until she had no choice but to step back into the cold, dark hallway. You have two choices right now. Stay and scream for him or run and save yourself. Make your decision quickly. Get out of my way. Chloe stared at me, her chest heaving. The faint sound of applause echoed from the ballroom downstairs. Julian was finishing his speech. If I let you go, Chloe whispered, her voice trembling, you keep my name out of this? If you stay completely silent and walk away right now, I said, the police will only be looking for Julian. The choice is yours. She did not argue. Selfishness always wins. She stepped aside, pressing her back against the hallway wall. Run, she breathed. I did not look back. I hurried down the back staircase, slipping out the side door into the cool night air. Liam was waiting by the service gate. I pulled open the passenger door and jumped in. Drive, I commanded. Liam hit the gas, speeding away from the glowing mansion. Did you get it? Did Marcus see you? Marcus is watching the main floor, I said, unzipping my silver clutch. Liam pulled over in a dark parking lot a few blocks away. He flipped open his laptop and plugged the drive in. His fingers flew across the keyboard. Encryption is basic, Liam muttered, his eyes glued to the glowing screen. He really thought no one would ever get this far. Rows of spreadsheets populated the screen. Look, Liam pointed at a column of red numbers. Fake shell companies. Phony investor returns. He has been running a massive Ponzi scheme for at least 6 years. He is robbing everyone blind. I leaned closer. Search for the name of Sam. Liam typed it in. A single transaction line appeared. 300,000, Liam read softly. Transferred out of the trust and directly into a Cayman Islands account. Seeing my brother and his stolen future laid out in cold digital text and a wave of relief through me, followed instantly by dark, heavy satisfaction. We finally had him. Send the entire folder to Elena, I said. Now, Liam hit the enter key. Sent. She has everything. Make me a copy on a flash drive, I instructed. We have one more stop to make tonight. 20 minutes later, I walked into the glaring fluorescent lights of the local police precinct. The front desk was quiet. Detective Vance looked up from his messy desk. He looked tired, his tie loosened. He had been trying to nail Julian for years without any luck. Can I help you? Vance asked, rubbing his eyes. I am the fiancé of Julian, I said evenly, walking right up to his desk. Vance sat up straight, suddenly alert. What happened? I placed the small silver flash drive directly onto the center of his desk. This is his master ledger, I told him, looking him dead in the eye. It contains undeniable proof of massive corporate fraud, embezzlement, and grand theft. Julian is going down tonight. I am giving you everything you need to arrest him right now. He is hosting a gala at his huge mansion. Go. What exactly are you doing in here? Julian hissed loudly, jumping up from his expensive leather chair. I looked directly at the older man sitting across from him. Mr. Sterling, I said smoothly. I truly apologize for the interruption, but you need to see this. Babe, you are acting completely crazy. Julian laughed nervously, grabbing my arm to escort me out. Let's go home. I ripped my arm away and threw a thick stack of printed papers onto the sleek glass table. The heavy thud echoed loudly. What is this nonsense, Julian? Mr. Sterling grumbled, adjusting his glasses. It is a complete list of his offshore accounts, I stated clearly, including the exact shell companies he used to funnel your recent $50 million investment. Julian went completely pale. Shut up, she's just upset and lying. Look at the Cayman Island wire transfers from last Tuesday. He did not put your money into research and development. He used it to pay off his hidden debts, buy a new yacht, and fund his mistress. Mr. Sterling flipped to the page. His face slowly turned dark purple with pure rage. Julian, Mr. Sterling growled dangerously, slamming his fist on the table. Is this true? No. Julian panicked, sweating profusely. She forged those documents. She's trying to ruin me. I also brought the original hard drive directly to Detective Vance last night. I smiled coldly. You little witch, Julian spat, taking a threatening step toward me. I am pulling my funding immediately, Mr. Sterling roared, standing up and pulling out his cell phone. I am calling my legal team right now. You are completely finished, Julian. I will see you rot in federal prison for this. Mr. Sterling stormed out of the boardroom, slamming the heavy glass door behind him. The room fell dead silent. Julian stared at the closed door, trembling violently. His confident, arrogant mask completely crumbled into a million pieces. He slowly dropped to his knees right in front of me, tears streaming down his face. Please, Julian sobbed, grabbing the hem of my suit jacket. Please, you have to stop this. Tell them you made a mistake. I will give you anything you want. I love you. I looked down at the pathetic, broken man crying at my feet. I did not feel any pity for him at all. Love does not rob families blind, Julian, I said very softly, stepping slowly backward out of his weak, shaking grasp. Get up from the floor right now, a deep voice boomed behind me. I turned around. Detective Vance stood in the open doorway, flanked by 2 uniformed police officers. She stole my private documents and forged them to ruin my reputation. Vance stepped into the boardroom, holding up the silver flash drive I gave him last night. Save it for the judge, Julian, Vance said coldly. We already verified the offshore accounts. We found the missing trust funds and the massive shell company transfers. You're completely finished here. No, listen to me. Julian screamed loudly, backing away until he hit the glass wall. She set me up. I have powerful lawyers. I will sue all of you. Put your hands behind your back, the first officer commanded, grabbing Julian's arm and violently twisting it around. The pathetic, crying man from a minute ago was entirely gone. His dark eyes were now filled with pure, unadulterated hatred. You planned this, Julian hissed viciously, spit flying from his lips. Every single smile, every kiss. You played me perfectly from the very beginning. You were wrong. I will kill you. Julian roared furiously as the 2 strong officers forcefully dragged him toward the heavy boardroom doors. I swear I will completely destroy you for this. Your fake empire is officially dead, Julian, I called out after him. You have absolutely nothing left to destroy me with. As they pulled him kicking and screaming down the long hallway, another figure calmly walked through the doorway, stepping smoothly over the spilled coffee on the floor. Elena smiled brightly, adjusting her designer jacket. Well, that was certainly a very dramatic exit. Elena laughed softly, extending her hand toward me. I took her hand and shook it firmly. The company is officially yours now, Elena, just exactly like we planned. My team of lawyers is already downstairs securing the remaining assets. Elena nodded, looking around the empty glass room with deep satisfaction. You did incredible work. He's never getting out of a federal prison cell. Make sure he absolutely never does, I said to her. I left Elena in the boardroom and rode the silent elevator down to the main lobby. The heavy glass doors slid open and a blinding flash of bright white light instantly hit my face. Absolute chaos erupted outside the building. Reporters with large microphones were shouting loudly, pushing fiercely against the yellow police tape. Is it true he stole millions? A reporter screamed. I looked up at the massive digital billboard hanging over the main city square. Julian's face was plastered across the bright screen in bold, heavy red letters. Massive fraud. Billionaire CEO arrested. I stopped walking for just a brief second, taking a very deep breath of the cool morning air. The absolute satisfaction of silent karma finally running its true course was honestly so much better than anything I could have ever possibly imagined. Do you think I need to pack all of these heavy textbooks? Only if you actually plan on reading them this semester. I laughed softly, sitting back in the wooden rocking chair. College is not just about studying, you know? You actually have to go to class. I will go, Sam smiled brightly, dropping the heavy book into the brown cardboard box. I still can't believe this is really happening. 6 months ago, I thought my entire future was completely gone. I know, I murmured, taking a slow sip of my hot tea, but look at us now. We have this beautiful new house, and you are leaving for your freshman year tomorrow morning. I really thought we were going to lose everything, but you stood up and fought back when it mattered most. We both survived, I replied gently. My cell phone buzzed loudly on the small wooden table. The caller ID flashed Liam's name. I quickly picked it up. Tell me you have good news today, Liam, I answered smoothly. The best kind of news, Liam's voice crackled through the speaker. The federal judge just officially handed down the final sentence this morning. Julian got 25 years without any possibility of early parole. I let out a very long, shaky breath. 25 years, it is finally over. Chloe actually tried to run away to Mexico last night. Because she tried to run, the prosecutor is charging her as a full accomplice to the massive wire fraud. She made her own choices, I stated flatly, not feeling an ounce of pity for her. What about the stolen investor money? Did Elena finish the corporate transfers? Yes, she did, Liam confirmed proudly. Elena officially liquidated the remaining fake shell companies yesterday afternoon. Every single stolen dollar, including Sam's entire college trust fund, has been completely returned to the original victims. You and Elena did an incredible job, Liam. I smiled warmly at the bright blue sky. I truly owe you both my entire life. You do not owe us anything at all, Liam said softly. You were the one who broke into that safe. You burned the entire fake empire to the ground. Have a great life in that new house. Goodbye. Goodbye, Liam, thanks, I whispered, ending the short call. Was that Liam? Sam asked, taping the heavy cardboard box shut. Yes, I nodded, setting the phone down. Julian is officially locked away for 25 years. The money is completely safe. It is finally finished. Sam let out a loud cheer, throwing his hands up into the air. That is amazing. The bad guys finally lose. They definitely did, I agreed, watching a gentle breeze rustle the green leaves on the old oak tree in our new front yard. The deep, agonizing pain of Julian's terrible betrayal still leaves a very small, quiet scar on my heart. I know I will never forget the awful feeling of discovering his secret phone that dark night. However, that old wound honestly no longer hurts me at all. I learned the hard way that my quiet kindness is absolutely not a weakness to be exploited by cruel men. True survival sometimes simply means having the pure courage to burn the toxic old world completely down, just so you can finally build a beautiful new one from the ashes. I closed my eyes slowly, tilting my head back and taking a very deep, refreshing breath of the clean, fresh air. Julian arrogantly thought that I was just a weak, naive girl. But I was the furious storm that finally ended him forever.